So give me 1 second. I'll be back. Hello. How is everybody? Hi. Are you ready for ticketing? Okay, sorry for my hair. You know, I literally wake up like this. When I wake up, that's whatever the state of my hair is, that is it. It doesn't get fixed. Okay, let me say hi to everybody. Empty chair. I just went to so my Mac is the one that has this problem with overheating. Even when it was like after a year of purchase, after a year started overheating, and so I have to constantly put it on a like those cold packs. I bought several giant cold packs, and then I would put it on it. I would put the Mac on there for it to not overheat. Give me 1 second. My dog is here. Come on. Come on. Come on. He needs to stretch. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Say hi. I am here. The cutie of the podcast, of the live stream. Say hi. So cute. So cute. So cute. Okay. All right. Okay. Say hi to everybody. Your general manager that you off have to. Oh, congratulations! Oh my gosh, ticketing, the nightmare. All right, Norwegian Wood, Alina. We have a lot to talk about actually. Alina, Patty, Letitia, Angel Star, BTS, Army, Norwegian Wood, Michelle, Warren, Andy. Oh, we have a lot of people now. 148. I do have a good news for everybody waiting for the lodge. Sort of a good news. It's kind of like a 50% good news. Better than no news at all. Or better, even way better than negative news. Nigma Price, Rory, Just Me CDV, Jax, Truth Warrior, Nikon Lady, Elazar, Shelling, Leia, PZ, Alta, 444, Christy, Doll Baby, Arlene Pia from Cali with Love, Purple GMA, Negma, OSP, Helena, Orchid, Tyrion Jax, Sylvia, Truth Warrior, Norwegian, Share Your Love, BTS Army, Aspen, EG, Shelling. I am Claudia. Thank you for being a member. I am Claudia. Phaedra Girl, Christy, Patty, Leah, AK Bangtan, Susan, Rani, Carol, Elizar, Kathleen, Warren, Anne Marie, Ozzy, Golden, Gold W and James. Gold W and James. Arlise, Becky, HKK, Donna, Patty, BTS 7 plus 1, Love Ketchup. I love ketchup too. Lisa Parker, Tickle, Christy, okay, Hanako Grace, Elizar. Okay, I think I've said hi to Andy Big Night, Bora Winkle, Shelling, Truth Warrior, Gail, Karen, Anne Marie, Carol, Army, A. Brown, Maritz, Julie, Gigi, Pia, and One Fine Day, Army, Bang Luna, Elizabeth, Truth Warrior, Emma Davis, Rachel. Okay, I think I've said hi to everybody. Angel Star, sure. Share, share. Rain Dance, Cindy, Edwards Icebox, Nosy, Katie Dream, Soan, Omni, Neshi. Oh, there's a lot right now. Sylvia, Charlotte, Curious Harlow, Robin, Miriam, Gray Ghost. Okay, Lara. Okay. Good news is that the salesperson, this is going to be brief because we have a lot to talk about. A lot. So for those that are waiting on the lodge, on the if you're waitlisted for the lodge, he emailed me and said that he was able to. He said he was able to. I'm sorry. He said I was able to secure all the lodges that you want, that you deposited for. I'm like, what did I deposit for? So I guess he got some lodges. We just don't know how many exactly. Because so I'm just gonna have to wait until he calls me. He said he's gonna call either at the end of the day or tomorrow morning. So kind of a good news. At least I know that um, because there were some additions. You can listen clearly. The audio is not clear. Is that better? Is that better? Is my audio better now? I changed the source of my audio. Is it better? Good. Okay. All right. Let me know when that happens. Um, I know because there's like this is my computer is weird. It keeps on connecting to my phone as an audio source, even though this I disconnected it already. So okay. All right. Now, as I've said, he emailed me and said that he was able to get all the suites, not the suites, but the lodges, and I just don't know what he meant when he said all, because I added new ones last night based on the ones that tried to get in. So let's see, we're gonna know later. At least I know that the first, the ones that have been waiting, I guess those are secure. Okay, let's get to it. So we have several topics. Um, we have some topics about Hybe that they have news and updates. Basically, they have a new partnership. It's not exactly new. It has been planned for a while now, and they when I said a while, it was announced last year, early last year, and then it's finally starting. But I think it's a good thing. Then we have some details about the launch date and the concert as well. And then we're gonna talk about something very irritating, which is Minheejin. Why? I'll sandwich the Minheejin thing so that we also end on a good note. How's that? Hello, everybody. You've made the chat at last. Do you want that? Do you want me to sandwich it? And so that at least we can end on a good note. Everybody goes off really energized for as we wait for the ticketing tomorrow. How is that? All right, just let's do that. We so don't forget tomorrow is the pre-sale. All right, so it's gonna go on between 22nd and the 23rd, and so please make sure that you're ready for the ticketing. And I know it's going to be stressful, there's especially when you're in queue and then you see that your number is high, stuff like that. It can be very unsettling. But I would actually encourage everybody to also find the joy in it. Remember that there are some armies that will make an effort to buy more um, tickets than what they actually need so that they can sell at cost to other people. So that's your hope. That's a hope for you. Especially in our community, there are a lot of people who actually do that intentionally. They would buy
the maximum just because they know that scalpers are going to be around. So don't, if you don't get a ticket, it's not the end of the world. And then the other thing is that there's also the general sale. So it seems that Hybe has been, even in the pre-sale of their other groups, for example, and Hypin, TXT, Le Seraphim, they have intentionally left some tickets for the general sale to give everybody else a chance. So if you don't get a ticket for the members only pre-sale, remember there's still the general sale. So don't forget that there is still hope. Okay. So just remember Weavers and the Weavers email and the Ticketmaster email has to match. They have to match. So make sure the Weavers email and Ticketmaster email must match. So make sure that those two are matched. And if it is not, you still have a chance to do something about it. Okay, and then save your credit card information and have more than one in your credit card info in Ticketmaster. You won't have the time to actually input a new credit card information. And then the other thing is make sure that you have enough space, you have enough credits, right? So make sure that your credit limit is all good. And then call the bank because um, you are sometimes there have been moments, there have been times when there are armies who reported that their banks actually block them because it's the first time they're buying that many tickets or whatever, or from that vendor or whatever, so they get blocked. So call your bank and tell them, I'm going to make a purchase tomorrow, do not block me or I'll burn you down, something like that. Don't threaten them. Okay. And of course, don't break your bank, set a limit, know where you are, and then just stick to it. The most important thing in a concert is that you are going to be hearing them clearly, which you will. Seeing them in detail is going to be a bonus, but it's number one, hearing them, that would be the best thing. And then the second thing is that there is community around you. So you get to enjoy the community. Like you get to enjoy it with other armies that are also enjoying their music. And then once you are in queue, do not refresh. So just wait. So make sure that your internet connection is good. Restart your computer, shut everything down. Don't open any other browser. And so I would suggest doing that the minute you get into you the minute you start waiting. Okay. Next, copy your membership number on Weavers. So go to Weavers, copy your membership number because you are going to need that when you go inside. Now, there have been times when it failed or whatever. So I would suggest copy it already, put it in a notepad as well, notepad in your computer, and also write it in front of you. So this, just in case everything else fails, you can type it up. But that's of course prone to errors. Next, Ticketmaster will send you a code usually. So once you get in, once you're typing, once you purchase your ticket, usually it still sends you a code. So make sure that your phone is not on a do not disturb, and also make sure that. Thank you, Becky. Is it true that the deposit I made for the suite in Las Vegas with two tickets includes the ticket, so I don't have to do the ticket pre-sale? Yes. So when you buy the suite, that's your ticket as well. So the suite is the ticket. Yes, you don't need once you have an entry to the suite, you also get that's it. Yeah, that's your ticket to the venue. So you don't have to buy. Yes. Okay. So make sure that your phone is not on a do not disturb. Make sure that it's right in front of you and just be quick. Okay. It would be nice if you have somebody actually looking at your phone so they're just dictating everything to you. That would be faster if it could be a tag team. Okay. Um, what is this? Because I am lucky enough to share, and in case someone else needs it, maybe towards a Weavers membership for someone or for yourself. Thank you, Fire Butterfly. How about I'm going to do a fundraising for armies that I might do a fundraising for armies that will not have just people that are down on their luck, just so they have a chance to watch the concert. I'll do a fundraising. It actually started because one of the members of our community donated, and she wanted to give it to someone who is down on their luck, and so I'll do that. Okay. Questions before I start? Um, is this what I'm supposed to present, or was it the other one? Okay, this is the one that I'm supposed to present. Okay, so Arirang is also open for pre-purchase, for pre-sale. So go to Weverse or go to the US website of BTS and purchase the albums there. So when you're purchasing in Weverse, if you want to contribute to the chart, when look at they actually indicate whether it's going to count towards Billboard or not. So just make sure that it says Billboard so that you know if you want to contribute to the chart. If you don't care, then buy whatever it is that you want. At the end of the day, what's important is that you're actually enjoying the albums. Okay. Now it already has some achievements. Number one, it's the first album to ever directly debut at number one in Spotify Global Countdown chart. And then it also has the biggest opening day for an album on Spotify countdown chart for 564,000.1 pre-saves. And it also became the first album by an Asian act group and second overall to surpass 2 million pre-saves in Spotify countdown chart history. We're trying to go higher, so please keep on pre-saving. Um, so so for the Spotify countdown chart, just know that this is as far as this is not they just started revealing the number of pre-saves. So take that into consideration. But we're trying to break the record. So just pre-save, even if your account is free, it still counts. Okay. Someone sent a reminder. Albang Luna, she said they opened more regional stores. They really are pushing sales for the local charts. Yeah. So make sure that it actually indicates that the album version that you are buying will contribute to the chart that that you're trying to help them in. Okay. And then so right now they remain number one in the Spotify global countdown. It is the fifth day that they are number one. So that's your BTS for you. But let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on pre-saving them. And then someone just posted this. This was just something fun. Highest peaking songs by a K-pop artist on Billboard Hot 100 charts, and all the way until there, it's all BTS except for two songs. Sorry, three songs. But among number one, it's all BTS. So for BTS, you have Dynamite, Savage Love, Life Goes On, Butter, Permission to Dance, My Universe, Like Crazy, and then Seven. Those are the ones that reach number one. Number two, Gangnam Style. Number three, Apathy, and then On, and then Gentleman, and then 3D, and then Standing Next to You, and then Boy with Love. So all BTS except for three. It was just fun to look at. Um, Things like this, we don't kind of, we tend to not really like pay attention to it anymore, right? So nice to see something like this on a random day. Okay. And then they mentioned this. So it looks like for sure, and it's not, it looks like for sure they're going to be adding cities. So they're going to be adding location. They said, sorry, dates in existing locations. So Army membership pre-sale for newly added shows. Okay. So if they add a show, they are will be show sorry for newly added shows will be eligible for those who completed the Army membership pre-sale application during the previous application period on Weavers. Your city selection will automatically carry over to the added show. So for example, if there is an added show in Las Vegas and we already pre-registered in that city, then our pre-registration will carry on if they ever add a new day. Now, people are asking when do they usually add the day? It really depends. Most of the time, they add it after the general sale. But it has also happened when they've added it even before the pre-sale. I remember I think for Wembley, they added it before the actual pre-sale of the first show. So let's see when they're going to add it. But now you know if they add a date in your city, if you registered in that city, then your registration is going to carry over that. Okay. I got tickets for Jin in my phone in the bathroom at work, so getting tickets on phone is possible. Okay. Bruno Mars added it during pre-sale when it was sold out. Okay. So she said that for Bruno Mars, he added shows or dates during pre-sale. Okay. Now I have some rumors. But do remember this are rumors, don't hold me to it. And proceed with caution. Okay. don't don't base your decisions based on the rumor. This is just for fun more than anything. What is the US website? Type in, I think, like BTS official US store. Type in that, and then it should lead you to, I think it's a Geffen store or something. But type in on Google BTS US official store. Okay. Rumors, okay? Rumors, people. Just want to premise that. Do not base your decisions, especially your life decisions, on rumors. Okay. All right. Rumor number one. This is apparently the pricing. So an army who was able to do pre-sale to for Foxborough pass member holders. If you know, if, for those of you who know about this, the members of the stadiums, they are rumors from your friend. Much thank you, Phaedra. Much luck, you guys. I think you'll all get the best tickets because AEC is just the badass. I don't know if I can influence their but thank you, Phaedra. Okay, so apparently, so if you are a stadium member, you they sent an exclusive promo, not promo, but codes to the stadium members so that they can buy tickets for themselves. Okay. Can you all excuse me? This is the lodge. One second. Is Andy Big Night here? Is are you do you still need the suite? Okay, go ahead. So this may be the very first time that it happens in a live stream, but I'm actually talking to the I'm talking to the agent for the lodges um in uh in Vegas, and we got it. So if you just give me 1 second while I talk to this person, I do need to speak with Amy though. Um you're doing sorry everybody. I know this is kind of odd, but I'm just waiting for him to send me the. He doesn't know that I'm in a live stream, but do you want to hear his voice? I'll ask him. Do you hear me? Do you hear what I'm saying? Oh no 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 no! I'm talking to someone else. I'm sorry. Okay, good. Because I wasn't. That okay. Because I was trying to mute it and then unmute it. I'm not sure if you were actually hearing me. It would be good news. Yeah. So we got all the sweets. It's just that there are actually two more people um that wanted a sweet, but well, actually there are four, but I couldn't get their payments, so I'm not sure. Let me see. How can I join the suite? There, so he has actually one more suite for the 23rd. That's what he's saying. But we do need 26 people for the suites. So I don't know if I should put it on hold or something. Um, okay. So I will let go of the suite on the 23rd. KKKK. Sorry, people. I did not anticipate he was going to call while I'm doing my live stream. So the 20 we have 26, so we have another suite on the 23rd for the 23rd, but we do need 26 people. uh how many minutes before the waiting, how much is the suite for each person? It's like a grand or something like that, yeah. So it's about a grand for who for first day. About a grand for the suite plus travel expense. Yeah, about a grand. I would love to join one of the suites. I will be traveling solo. Let me know, Pinoy grandma. Can one of you sort of like gather the information of the people who are trying to join us? I'm sorry, I can't do three things at the same time. I can do two things at the same time, but not three. But we do have we have a waiting list for the 23rd. I know that's what Amy told me, but I mean he's on the phone, so I need like a definite answer. Am I going to hold on to it or not? Angel Star, Angela, thank you. I hope you're enjoying this craziness. Shouldn't we just continue with that process? With what process? Okay. I'm interested using Discord. Do you have any days traveling from San Diego doing solo? I may have two more people for this week. Carla girl said. Okay. Okay. So I'm so sorry to everyone who's tuning in just because they want to see the content, not witness how we're trying to get a suite for us in Las Vegas. I am so sorry. Okay. Should I I'll extend my I'll extend my yeah, but many of you are actually gonna be sleeping, um but I don't understand Discord. Discord. I mean, these sorry people. I know some of you are just here because you wanted to watch the content and hear about what's going to happen. I did not expect he was going to call today. I thought he was going to call tomorrow because it's pretty late. But okay, so we're trying to it's interesting. Is there a Chicago delegation? Yes, there is a Chicago delegation. Any spot for three? We have enough. Yes, we have spot for three. How do I find out what suite I am? I think Becky, you're either on the 24th or the 27th, one of those. Um, and then for the 23rd, yes, we do have enough space for probably seven more. Um, okay. Everyone's telling me to just get it. It's fine. How do I sign up? Can someone in the community please get the names and like how to contact these people that are asking for the suite? I just can't do it now because I can't do three things at the same time. So I'm talking with him. I'm waiting for his documents, and then I'm talking with Amy, who's in charge of the 23rd date. Then for Tampa, there's a community in Discord. I'm actually going to be helping you guys get the suite for Tampa. Okay. Okay. So I am okay. If I can get tickets, maybe. Okay. All right. I'm just waiting for him. I'm so sorry. I don't think you went. I don't think you went live just to witness us trying to get the suites. Hi. Everybody on Discord, a sweet 23rd for the 23rd. Please go to Discord. Everyone waiting for the suite for the 23rd, please go to Discord. Amy is waiting for you. Do you hear me? Everyone who's waiting for the 23rd suite in Vegas, please go to Discord. Amy is waiting for you. Do you hear me? Everyone on waiting for the 23rd, Vegas, go to Discord. Okay. I didn't expect that to happen. All right. I guess that's your white collar drama for the day. um, okay. All right. We're all done with that. So I guess we got the suite. Okay. Okay. This is nerve-wracking. No, don't worry. Okay, so we got the suite. We got the lodges. So good news to everybody. Yes, it's all good news. We got all the suites that we need. We got we got the suites, we got the lodges. Um so all good. Yes, back to rumors. Back to rumors. Okay, let me just send a message to Discord. Um all right. Okay, so let's continue with the rumors. So where were we? So allegedly, these are the prices for the this came from an alleged person who allegedly was able to get into the pre-sale. If you would remember, all suite members are were given a code. It always happens. Like this is a standard thing. If you're a member of if you're a season pass holder in a stadium or you own a suite or something, then you get special privileges like being the first ones to buy a ticket for certain concerts and stuff. And that's just a standard thing. So they were all given that. And then uh, this post came from one of them. So she's claiming now, I can't emphasize more that this is a rumor. Okay. So she said that this is the pricing for the upper one. For the upper one, so nosebleed almost is about 171, and then mid tier, so like the seated area is 195, and then lower is 377. Now, this is why I'm a little bit apprehensive about this pricing. It seems low. Okay. So, yeah, so it seems very low because uh I would think that for those that are in the hundreds, it would go to about 700 or something. And then the nosebleed will be like 80s or something. But I'm certainly not Ticketmaster. So that's just keep that in mind that this is a rumor. Okay, this is unconfirmed. Because that's my experience in other concerts, even their own concerts, like even the concert of J-Hope and Jin. Those that went to like hundreds, they paid like 700, 800. So when I saw this like hundreds and it's 377. However, however, it could be that BTS made a conscious effort to do it the same way Coldplay was doing it, which was to lower the price in order to allow for more people to afford it. So that's also like that's possible. Um, give me 1 second to send a message. Okay, so it's a rumor. So as I've said in the beginning, don't base your decision on this one. Certainly don't budget according to this one. But let's see. Maybe they are correct and maybe I am wrong. However, if this is true, the average ticket price of BTS would be way higher than what I initially anticipated um in my estimate. If you would remember, I did a video, and in the last live stream I showed you that there are venues also give discount prices to employees and members. So it could be that. But if you would remember, in my last live stream, I showed you my computation on the average ticket price of BTS and computed how much they could actually earn gross for the 79 venues, or if they go 100 venues. Sorry, not venues, but dates. Okay. And in there, I computed it at around 120. If I went, I assumed that the ticket average ticket price would be 125 or 150, one of the two. Now, I knew that was low, but I also explained to you guys that when you're making assumptions, when you're computing stuff, then you definitely have to compute based on a more conservative, especially for things like this. Um, you go a little lower if you're projecting sales, but if you're projecting expenses, you go higher. So that's kind of like the standard thing. Now, if they do it this way, where the 300s are more expensive, but the lowers are also more affordable, they are able to increase the average ticket price. So in general, they could end up actually earning the same. Now, also the reason I decided to assume that their average ticket price was 125 or 150 is number one because of Coldplay, because that's how Coldplay did it, and their objective was to try and have as many people as they could to go to the concert because they knew they weren't going to do one in a really long time, or even a possibility that they won't do a tour ever again. So I was thinking, since we know, well, I am assuming that BTS is probably planning like some extensive solo promotions after this one. I thought maybe they're thinking, it's going to take a while after they do a group activity again. And they are assuming that, so they would want as many people as they could possibly have to go see them in a concert. But let's see. Let's see. Okay. Next rumor. Okay. That's a rumor. So this is the cue. When they went pre-sale for the members of the stadium, there were 141,309. That's your queue. And so whoever was doing the person who posted this said like, yeah, I don't have a chance. And she wasn't able to get a ticket because, so 141,309 just for the pre-sale. Now she said um, that they only opened the 300 section for Sunday, and it was worth 187.25 after taxes and service fees per ticket. I saw the nosebleeds were about 87 without taxes and fees. They only opened section 300 and above for stadium season ticket holders. I'm guessing everything else. I'm reading the post. I'm guessing everything else will be open for Army pre-sale tomorrow, Saturday, and was definitely more popular. And even JK birthday on 9/1 was sold out in minutes. Everything was gone in about 30 minutes, he said. So they only open 300 and above, so 300 all the way up to nosebleed. And she's saying that nosebleed was about 87, which was kind of like what I was assuming. And then, so I guess there are tickets above 300. And then I'm also assuming that the limited view tickets will also be around 80. So rumors. So let's see what's going to happen. And they did say that they did not release everything for them. Okay. It's VIP only for floor tickets. Yes. So well, okay. So for most of the venues, floor would be VIP. I don't think tickets will be that low, Sylvia said. Let's see. I don't anticipate it was going to be that low, but let's see. Um okay, next. If I would go to a concert, I would have to rent a wheelchair. And my lodging would be paid for because I have family in Vegas, and pay for the airline ticket would be discounted. Oh, there you go. Do you think they will have limited view within on the ground stage? I don't think so. There might be, because front of the house, the FOH, the front of the house is where all the control booth is. They call that front of the house. It has to be situated somewhere, right? And for sure, whoever is going to be at the back of the front of the house will have limited view. So maybe. Did you get a suite in SoFi? Yes, we got a suite in SoFi. We got two sweets in SoFi. We're trying to get a third, but the price was a little too high for a lot of people. Okay, so Army membership pre-sale schedule changes for those that are in Latin America. There were changes in your schedule, just in case you haven't seen it. So I guess they pushed it back a little. So just know that there were some changes if you're in Latin America. And then Weavers actually sent a notification that to join the queue, please make sure your account email matches your Weavers ID associated with your Army membership. Don't have an account on the ticket platform yet? Create one before pre-sale for a smoother experience. So they are reiterating your email on your Weavers and your Ticketmaster, they have to match. They are reiterating that. So if it's not, it's going to create some issues. So make sure they match. Okay. Do you have a head count for the 23rd already? I have two more friends who want to join, total of 5 for our group. Go to Discord. Amy is there if she's waiting for you. If you haven't, um, she's waiting for you there. She's collecting the payment and um the uh the payment and the head count. Okay. Do you have Baltimore? We have someone trying. Yes, we have someone organizing Baltimore. So go to Discord. This community I'm so thankful for everybody because a lot of the people that are taking, playing point on each of the location, I didn't even ask. Like when I went there, just someone decided, okay, I'm going to help the community and play point. So I'm so thankful for everybody. And then so Vegas, I think, is the most extensive because we have a lot of suites and whatever. We have one person. I don't know if she's here, but Sylvia she wasn't even volunteering. She just happened to be there and she just happened to like review the names and was like, Sylvia, can you do this? And she was just gracious and she works full time. So she was just gracious enough of with her time. Okay. So make sure that those two things match, okay? Because they are reiterating that this is the nth time they've said it. Rogers Stadium, there is already a layout. I've mentioned to you before, Ate, do you have Baltimore? Yes, go to Discord. There is Baltimore there. So I've mentioned to you before that one of the things you should try is look at the layout and then look at the sections and already decide which sections you're going to be okay with. And then if you see those, then just go grab it because you won't have time to choose. So for Rogers Stadium, they actually released it. Now, one difference that you do need to take into consideration is that they're splitting the floor in so many sections now. Like for example, in SoFi, it used to have like section A, B, C, D, and I think E and F. So it's divided into six sections. Now they're dividing it into I don't know how many, 24. So there's more tiers. I'm assuming that's what's happening. So just be conscious of that. Okay. I'm going to get nosebleeds ticket and I will be okay with it as long as I'm there. Correct. That's the thing. It's the experience. Don't forget to extend your screen time. Okay, screen timeout time. Yes. Don't forget to yes. Don't forget to do that. Um Rockstar Sylvia, yeah, she was so gracious. She wasn't, and she's not even, she told me she's not very comfortable with Excel. Maybe she's more comfortable in Sheets or whatever, but she did it. I mean, she wasn't even volunteering. She was just so generous of her time. It just helped everybody. So, okay. Now, for the BTS show, they got conditional approval, but it seems that it's going to be approved because the prime minister, as you know, went to Hybe. So they got a conditional approval for their application to use the Guanghamon area. Now, okay, so this is the some more information from some people on Korean side media and then I will tell you what my source actually told me. So it's not just the show that they're going to be doing is not just limited to the Gwanghwamun Square. Although the live show might happen there, but they are going to be utilizing areas around the area. So they're shooting something in the Gyeongbokjong Palace. Most likely they're going to be doing it um, when when everything is closed. Okay, so on January 20th, they got the conditional approval, and then areas within the Gyeongbokjong Palace, they are going to utilize all of it, and then they are going to use the Gwangamon Gate and the Walde, the stone platform zone surrounding the walls. So the if you haven't been there, so the entire area is like surrounded, enclosed by stone wall. So Songnyemun Gate, they're also going to utilize that. So all of that they're going to utilize. So they're going to do some pre-recording on some of the areas. Okay, here. So this is the article saying that they got the conditional app approval, and then so they're going to be shooting here. They're not. They are most likely not. This is right in front of the Gyeongbokgung Palace. They're probably not going to utilize that because that's a very very precious area for them, and you definitely do not want anybody in there that is not authorized to go there. But they most likely are going to shoot some materials. Okay, and then they're also going to be shooting in oh, that's the same palace without the people around. But it's beautiful though. If you've never been there, this is one of the stops that you really need to go to. And then the Gyeonggi Gong Palace. This is one of the places that my source gave me. They're going to shoot something there. It's very rare that people are allowed to shoot in here. There are also some chatter that they're going to be shooting something in the Bokchon Hanok village. So it's very close to the Gyeongbokgung Palace. So for example, if you go, here's the map. So in the center is the Gyeongbokgung Palace, and then on the, I guess on our right side, you'll see the Bokchon Hanok village. So those are all traditional Korean houses. They're going to be, and this came from my source. They're going to be shooting some, or at least they're trying. Right now, everything is still the trying because in every area that they will be utilizing, they need to present safety measures, and then they of course they need insurance. Essentially, and they should the government should the Ministry of Culture and Sports wanted to make sure that there is enough caution so that they're able to show off the area without destroying it. So, and they have to do that in every area that they're going to be shooting in. So they are trying to do it in the Bokchon Hanok village. Let's see if they will be able to do it. Now, there are allegedly some efforts to try and get them to do something in the Blue House for their comeback. Um, the Blue House, just like the White House of the US, just like the palace in the Philippines, those are that belongs to the Blue House belongs to Koreans, right? So there shouldn't be an issue if they ever want to shoot there. It shouldn't be automatically political because it's not about the person sitting in the office, but about the area because that belongs to South Korea. But allegedly, there are some like invitations to get them to shoot something there. Now, the Blue House is also very close to the Gyeongbokgung Palace. It's right there. If you go, if you see at the back, that's the Blue House. So very close to the Gyeongbokgung Palace. Okay. All right. So next, all right. So the approval, as of now, what they got is approval for the pre-recording of performance videos in these areas, likely on days when the sites are closed, of course. And then approval to use the area for any kind of for some large scale K heritage and K-pop fusion performance tied to BTS's comeback, and then media facade projections. So they will be projecting on the walls. It's not clear whether they are going to do it before. So the talk is that there might be some installations there, some activations after the event. So, uh, so this wasn't allegedly even in the plans, but when BTS asked for permits to use that area, to utilize the area, I guess it's sort of like motivated the government to create some event around the area to attract more people because many of those that are going to be attending the show will be staying all the way until the concert. So they are going to so they're trying to create like a like some sort of a festival. So there might be some installations around the area, or at least they're trying to. Now, it might sound like they have a lot of time, but they actually don't. Because this is March 20 and it's already June. You do a large scale event like this, it's not easy. So I won't be surprised if they will be shelving a lot of the plans just because they don't have enough time. My assumption is that it was a calculated move on Big Hit's part to ask for the permit late to avoid leaks. Because allegedly they filed the permit, they sought the permit, the approval, October of last year, like September, October of last year, which still is a very short time. And then I guess they were able to keep it as a secret for how many months, right? But still leaked. so or the other option is that maybe it is a calculated list leak. After all, you do want people to be able to prepare to come to Korea. But okay, now next. Um so yeah, so sites around the Gyeongbokgung Palace and the Gwanghwamun Square, they will be utilizing that for the comeback. So this might actually be the first time in history where a musical act will hold a global concert in a historic area in their country, blending contemporary culture with their country's heritage. So the permit indicated that it will be shown to about 300 million people, and I was like, 300 million people. I don't think there are 300 million Weverse members for BTS. I know that there are 13 million, but not 300 million. And that will only be possible if they're going to be streaming it. Whether they're going to be streaming it after or before, we don't know. But they definitely need an infrastructure that is sophisticated enough to handle if they ever live stream it. You need an infrastructure sophisticated enough to handle 300 million streams. And there's only one, Netflix. So I'm thinking, are they going to stream it on Netflix? Probably, because their permit says 300 million Netflix at 300 million people. I'm thinking only Netflix has 300 million subscribers. So probably streaming on Netflix. Now we don't know. YouTube can also do it, correct? YouTube can do it. I don't know if they can do it simultaneously. Probably there are 1.2 billion active users on YouTube all the time. So at any given moment, 1.2 billion active users on YouTube. Imagine that. So yes, you're correct. It could also be YouTube. But so yeah, it could be YouTube or it could be Netflix. Okay, so the prime minister visited South Korea, not South Korea, Hybe. Okay, so everyone was asking like, why on earth is he there? Like, are the politicians trying to? Okay, so he's been doing a tour. So he's been going around different cultural centers, pop culture centers in South Korea. And when I say the South culture pop centers, I mean labels. So he's been to Kakao. He's visited Kakao, and then there's one more that he's visited. So this is the third visit he's done to a label, to a an entertainment label in South Korea. So it's not a one off. It's not a one off. Now, whether it is calculated or not, or that he's using that as an excuse to meet BTS, we don't even know if he was able to meet BTS because there were no pictures. There were pictures of him meeting and hyping, but not BTS. I'm assuming that at this stage, BTS is so busy with the preparation, they don't have a lot of time. And that could also be the reason the boys aren't really posting a lot or doing their live stream. They're probably really at the thick of their preparation. It's not, you think it's a lot of time. It is not. It is not. With the music videos, with the rehearsals, their inputs. So do remember that um, BTS is so involved in every step of everything, including the shoot, that they don't just show up for the shoot. They do have to approve it. They have to meet about it. They have to. So I think they're just really very, very tired right now with all the preparation. So I don't think they have any time. But we don't know. Maybe they met with him, but it just simply was not photographed. But yeah, so he actually delivered the talk. They were all there. So if you would see, if the venue seems familiar to you, that's because that's where Hobie did his album launch. If you would remember, he did an album launch. He did it on the rooftop of of Hybe. So that's where he delivered his talk. And also he toured Hybe. So someone from Hybe actually like went and showed him the insight area, the exhibit where all the awards are. Okay, you're glad BTS was not there. We don't know. Maybe they were there. It just was not photographed, or maybe it was a condition that they set because they have different hair colors. Who knows, right? Who knows? But what we know is that it was not photographed. Okay, if they actually met. So this is part of government's on-site inspections of key cultural content industries to support and promote them as future growth engines. This followed similar visits to companies like Nexon and CJENM earlier in the week. Okay. And then the prime minister, so there you go. So CJENM was the other one, and Nexon was the other one. So he's been going around different companies. Maybe he's going to go to other, like the other three, SMYG and um, uh, JYP. Okay. Prime Minister Kim also said that with the new wave of growth that BTS's full group comeback will bring this year, K-pop will once again amaze the world, and added the government will spare no support as the strongest partner to back creativity and innovation so that Korea can firmly establish itself as a leading cultural nation. So they're going to be not will they will spare no support. They will just try to get the chairman of Big Hit of Hype. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay. But so it seems if you're going to judge everything from here, it does seem like the permit is going to be approved. So maybe the conditional approval was just ceremonial, but it seems that the approval is going to go through. So for everyone who actually booked their hotels in the hopes that this is going to be a raffle, is what I'm assuming. In the hopes that they will get in, congratulations! It looks like it's going to happen. Maybe the deal was with Enhypen. If he met any BTS member, maybe off camera. That's what I'm assuming. Maybe BTS said, we have different hair colors. We want this to be a surprise. So you can't. Or maybe you're going to be meeting us while we're rehearsing or doing photo shoots. And that means people are going to be seeing what we're wearing. We don't want that to happen. So you can that can happen. We don't know. Okay. Um, okay. So is that it? That's all I have for you? Okay. So that's for this part. Do you have questions before I proceed? The link for Discord is in Patreon. The link for Discord is in Patreon, correct? Okay. BTS are busy. He needs special permission to meet them. Western WrestleMania is like their Super Bowl and is more popular than BTS in the US. They have disabled section recovering from knee replacement. Will that be considered as I have to walk with a cane? Yes. So if you have a cane, that will be you can go into the disabled section. And there is, in most, not all, but in most of the stadiums, there is a special section for disabled people. So if you buy a ticket in that, you do need to show that you are disabled. That goes fast. It goes fast. So you still have to queue. I mean, they can only, they can't cram everybody there. You do need some space. So, but there is a space for special needs. Okay, how can resale sites already have prices listed? So some of those that purchase their ticket through the pre-sale for members of the stadiums, they are starting to resell their tickets. I'm not belittling it. I think it's great entertainment. I just get mad that they criticize us for BTS. Nigma Price, please join our Discord chat. Seda said, Nigma Price, please join our Discord chat. Okay. Um, FYI, Arlington dates are booked through SeatGeek, so please make sure you're registered on that site. Yes, there are two venues or three that are under SeatGeek. Okay. Should I continue? They can sell tickets they don't have yet. The sections are also raised for people because they have to provide unblocked views. Yes, for the sections for the special needs, yes, correct. It is raised. No one's in front of you, so you won't be blocked. Yes, correct. Um okay, next, do you have questions about the plans? Um Fire Butterfly, did they set up a pre-sale for those who had tickets to the tour for PTD Concert LA? I went to 3 nights. It was amazing. Okay, so I live in El Paso, Texas. I'm so excited that they're coming here, but sad because I can't go. Why not? That's rare. They might not have a concert in several years. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard of it, but this surfaced in the news last year, early last year. Um, and I think this was like a project that Scooter Braun was still involved in. I don't know if he started the project, but he definitely was um, involved in the beginning of it. Okay. Um, and so when this guy, just to give you an idea, is a content creator, Alan Chicken Chow. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his content, but he has, I think, 92 million subscribers in his main channel. It could be 100 now, but the last time I checked, it was about 92 million. And any of his posts would be about like 80 million. He has a dedicated following. He has a huge channel. Okay, and he has been building his channel since 2010s or something like that. Okay, so the project, so Hybe partnered with him. He's a content creator, and and Hybe partnered with him. And the project is kind of like a fusion of High School Musical. And okay, so some of you might be too young to remember these people, but the Brat Pack of the 80s. Okay. So, a fusion of High School Musical, The Brat Pack, and F4. Never heard of him? Okay. So, okay, I have to admit, when I first heard about the news, I also have never heard of him. I was like, who is this guy? So, I had to research who he was because for somebody to have 90 million subscribers, I mean, and then when I looked at his posts, it would be like 80 million per post or something like that. Okay. So all right. So it's like the project that you're doing is kind of like High School Musical, the Brat Pack, and F4. Something like that, a combination of these three. Okay, so what is it? Yay, 80s. It's some sort of a band, but it's going to start with a drama, a fictional group that they are hoping to spin off into a real band. Okay, so the Alan Chicken Chow, he is the creator, is going to serve as the um, executive producer of the show. All right. And then the president of film and television of Hybe America, James Shin, is he is going to head the project with him. Okay. Now, the third picture in this one is actually Scooter Braun because the project started when he was still the CEO. We now know that there is a different CEO. Okay, so the project started very, very, very early last year, like February. It hit the news around April. So they are doing the K Monkeys. Yes, but real life. Kind of the K Monkeys, but real life. So they actually created a new label for him. Hybe X Allen AU. That's the name of the label. Okay, Hybe Allen X AU. Okay. And this is actually a part of his trailer. If you go to his YouTube channel, and watch the trailer features BTS and BT21 heavily. heavily. Okay, so BT21 was there. This is like the scene before the revelation of him. There you go. That's him. Okay. So and then they announced Hybe America X Allen Universe AU. Okay. All right. That's the name of the label. Now if you go to his channel, so he has about 92.9 million subscribers. And if you look at his views, like all of his videos, if you see that, it's like 80 million, so 70 million, there's like 200 million. So he gets a lot of views. For those of you who are curious, if you get around 10% of your total, like the standard, there are a lot of exceptions to this rule, but usually, like if you get a regular, by average, you get about 10% of your total viewership. Sorry, total membership as your average view on your channel. That's a pretty good sign. That usually means you're not paying for views and stuff like that. Okay. So for him, so for this one, he um for his channel, he usually gets about 80, 90 million views, sometimes 200 million, I guess depending on the episode. And then but he actually started, so he does dramas. He does drama in his online show on his channel. He actually produces them, and they're really geared towards young people. Okay. Now, they are very cliche. They have a lot of cliche elements. Just think of any kind of high school show cliche, love story, romance, young people cliche. Think of that. He's done it. Okay. So, like, rich guy, poor girl, he's done that. Mean Girls, done. Hot guy, rich, snobbish, done. Um, two time, infidelity, done. Like everything, all the cliche you can ever think of, he's done. And that is, I guess, what appeals to the market. They like that. Kind of like cringe, kind of, at least for our age, we would consider it cringe. Like, come on, don't feed me that. But for his market, it works, as evidenced by the number of subscribers he has and the views that he consistently gets, right? Okay. Now, I'm not I'm not putting it down. I'm not saying it's bad. Obviously, there's a market for it. It's not for me. Okay. Now, the other thing that he has done, because he actually started with shorts. That's how he started. He was one of the early adopters of shorts, of YouTube shorts, and he was one of the early adapters of vertical drama. He wasn't the one who started it, but he was one of the early adapters of he's an innovator basically. So using shorts, he created very snappy like stories, like slice of life. But then he eventually decided to get recurring characters. So once he get that, so he would cast recurring characters until eventually he built the Allen universe. So like many of the characters that you're seeing, Kate, Chelsea, they recur. So it is the same character. It's just that they would sometimes come in a different package or something like that. So it's kind of like it is a universe where you're kind of following the lives of these different personalities that that he created. So from shorts, he expanded to long form. And then every episode would be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes it would be 20, depending on the kind of stories that he has. Okay. So that actually um, made him that actually what made him very popular. He started with shorts and then into long form. And then at some point, Hollywood sort of caught wind of the vertical drama trend. And so they decided they were going to start creating their own as well. Okay. So um, it was like from zero in about 3 years, from zero to like a $3 billion agents industry for vertical drama. That's how fast it actually went. Now, for Alan Universe, it's a recurring series inspired by high school dramas, social cliches, everyday moral dilemmas, drawing openly, very very openly to K-drama, youth-oriented television shows, and series centered on friendship, bullying, loyalty, identity. They did not mention social classes, but it's very much there, but packaged in 1 minute episode optimized for vertical viewing. So that's how he started, as I've said, until he expanded into the long form drama. So by mid 2020s, so right around 2023, 2024, he had become the most watched YouTube Shorts creator globally. So he had 100 million subscribers on his primary YouTube channel, billions of monthly views with individual short routinely pulling in multi-million view counts and a highly international audience, including strong viewership across Asia. Okay, so I think the point that I'm trying to come across is that he is a builder of a media that is big, it's huge, it's powerful, and very, very influential. But it was relegated to a content creation channel for a long time simply because he did not have any kind of mainstream creation. Do I like the quality of the things he's putting out? It's not for me. I'm ancient. I'm like several years away from my deathbed. So the cliches aren't for me anymore. Not that I don't appreciate them, but it's not the only thing I will consume day in and day out, right? But there's certainly something that he's offering. Aside from the cliche, it's pretty clean. You know, if you have a like a young daughter or a young son, this is something you won't mind them watching every now and then because it's clean. There aren't like nudity, crime, um no, it's just if you don't want to think, this is the kind you just want to relax on a weekend, this is something you would watch. Okay. So I guess that's what many relegated him in, simply because, as I've said, because he's not mainstream. He started his channel in YouTube, grew in YouTube. So for them, for many mainstream media companies, he's an outsider and he's a content creator. So they did not pay attention to him. Now, obviously, someone did, and it was Hybe. Okay, so they were the ones who appreciated what he was doing because he's a master of episodic television materials. I don't know if you know this, but if you write for TV, there's a formula that you need to follow, like cliffhanger every several minutes. You always have to provide cliffhanger, very very clear character roles. There's no like it's black and white, which is what people resonate with. You give people something with a nuance, they are not going to support it as much as someone that has a very very clear character, like personality. Okay, so it's not my preference. Alan Universe, yeah. um just overhearing Fairlyn talk about him, I was like, you know him. Okay, um so the one thing that he did, because when he moved over into long form, he did not abandon short form, but he did something very smart. He actually started using shorts to test his characters, character dynamics, narrative ideas, tonal shifts in real time with immediate audience feedback. So sometimes he would introduce a character in shorts and he will see if that will resonate, or he will start a 1 minute like premise in a story and see if that's going to click. If it clicks, then he will continue that. So that became like his research. He used shorts as a research. He would know if people like that character based on the response of his shorts. Okay, and so that he actually that so you can see there's a science to his chaos. It's not all like random thing that he's just doing because it was fun. Well, definitely he's doing it because it's fun, but also there is a science to it. He's thinking about this like a real business person. It's just that what he's thinking about is something new to a lot of people. So, for example, this character that he introduced, which is him, he's a rich guy. He came from a millionaire family, but then he decided that a billionaire family actually, one of the things that he found it very hard to do was finding someone that will love him for who he is because he had way too much money. Okay, so that's the story. So he decided, okay, I am going to he's going to his character, he said, I'm going to abandon my family. So he ran away. And then he enrolled as a high school student in some high school in some country. Okay. And made it appear as if he is poor. And he thought, okay, if I find someone here that likes me, even though I am poor, then that's probably the right person for me. That's the story. That's the premise of the story. Cliche. It has been done so many times in so many different ways, but it was well made. I mean, if you look at it, I, I, I knew what was going to happen right away. But for young people, it was well made. He respected his audience. The cinematography was great. The production design was great. The characters were pretty. So he thought about it. He put some work. He put a lot of work into it. It's actually more decent than many of the movies that are being shoved down our throats in terms of production. So all these things that he was doing made him a very very attractive partner to a lot of people. So the apprehension is the fact that he is a YouTube creator. He's not a suit. I mean, meaning he's not like an executive of an entertainment company. So this is like the story I was talking about. He was named the CEO of his family's company because he turned his family from a billionaire. Sorry, from a millionaire, they became a billionaire because of this app that he created. So instant billionaire, and he became the face of the family. And it was like, I'm so rich, I don't know who I'm going to be dating that's not just after my money or something like that. So the series that Hybe and Allen Universe is going to do will center on a misfit group of aspiring pop idol rejects enrolled in an arts academy who band together to form a co-ed group. That's the story. So the supposedly they all um like a audition for a company, for a label. They all got rejected, and primarily not because they lack the talent, but because they're misfits. They like breaking the rules. And if you're going to handle a group, of course you want them to follow you, or at least you want them to have good character. So um he decided, okay, so this role, this project is going to the goal is to make this group, so it's going to be co-ed, but the goal eventually is to transition this fictional group into a real band. Okay, so they will start with a drama and then transition to a real band. Okay, so that is why I said it kind of feels like it is a combination of High School Musical, Brat Pack of the 80s, and F4 of the 90s or 2000s, early 2000s, I guess. I don't know when that was. So because you have the element of this group being misfits, rule breakers, that's Brat Pack. And of course, a group of young teenagers, common to all of them. And then you have the element of musical, which is kind of like High School Musical. And then you have the element of them being carried over to real life. So from narrative to real life, which is what F4 did for the longest time. And it's not just F4 who actually does that. A lot of Japanese companies would also do the same thing. They would start with a show, and if this group of guys or a group of girls hit it big in the show, they would create a project group that would be touring, that would release an album. But usually, the thing with Japan, if they do something like that, is that it actually is a project group. So it's meant to stay for like 2 years, 1 year. But the goal of Hybe is to actually carry this group over for as long as they could. That like they will become a permanent group. So that is the goal. Something like Glee, yeah, something like Glee, the musical element to it. Nope, the monkeys from the 60s, they were the American version of the Beatles. Okay. So so according to Hybe, this is how they describe it: a first of its kind label. Because this is a label. Hybe X AU or Allen Universe is an actual label that will launch a groundbreaking franchise spanning both scripted content and music. Hybe's official announcement adds that Hybe America X AU collaboration challenges current industry conventions with a bold approach that bridges Eastern and Western entertainment traditions in an entirely new way. Okay, that's their press release. Okay, so by partnering with Chow, Hybe America gains access to a creator who already understands Gen Z and Gen Alpha because that's his primary market. And that is the market that they are targeting, right? Because those are the future consumers. They cannot stop at Gen X and millennials and JY and Gen Y and whatever. They can't stop at those generations. They have to continue because it is a huge company. So the next consumers would be Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And Chow already knows this market. He knows how to capture this market. Now, again, you may disagree on how he's capturing them, but that's an entirely new discussion altogether. The fact is that he knows how to target this market, and Hybe recognizes it. And so they thought instead of someone else grabbing Chow for a partnership, might as well we do it. Think about it this way. When Geffen forged a partnership with Hybe, Hybe was Chow, right? With remember they have a partnership, and one of the products of that would be Cat's Eye, because Geffen was looking for somebody who has an expertise in developing a fandom, a group with a solid fandom. So they partnered with Hybe because Hybe knows how to do it. They've done it not just in BTS. They started with BTS, but they've done it in several other groups. Now Hybe is Geffen and Chow is Hybe because Hybe wants something that Chow has. So they said, "We know, we recognize you. You're like us. You were an outsider. No one's paying attention to you in the mainstream market, but your numbers speak for yourself. The same way BTS's number spoke for itself. It takes one to know one. And Hybe knows him. You have what we want. We're going to partner with you." Okay, so Chow, so Hybe will get access to something that Chow already has, a know-how into reaching the Gen Z and Gen Alpha market. On the other hand, Chow will be able to test this approach to the mainstream market because whether or not you like it, ha- approaching the mainstream market with 300 million people that can watch you simultaneously is very, very different from people who will hold up their phone because they are in queue in Starbucks. So they'll pull up their phone and watch a drama for 1 minute. That's an entirely different audience to those that are in their homes actively looking for something to watch. So now they can benefit from each other. Hybe saying, you know how to get in touch with the Gen Alpha and the Gen Z, and we know how to get in touch with the mainstream market. Let's work together and see how we can do a fusion. Okay. Um, for High School Musical, so as I've said, it's kind of like High School Musical combined with the Brat Pack because Misfits, there's like I guess a like a glamour into being a misfit combined with F4. In that, this is actually another project group that they did in Japan. So it started with a drama Nobuta wo produced. It's actually one of my favorite dramas in Japan. And the story was that there were three students in a school from entirely different factions or classes or divisions or I don't know groups in their high school, and for some reason they kind of became friends against all odds, and they became so popular that the two guys formed a project group and they released several albums, very very successful. They did a lot of concerts together, and then it just after 2 years, because they belong to different agencies, then they went their separate ways. Okay, So this would be so what how big is this project? It can actually um start the transition of K-pop storytelling beyond biography based idol narratives toward fictionalized character driven universes. So essentially, what's happening right now is that you have a group like Hypen, for example, and of course, everything that started with BTS, where you have a group and then they form a universe and then you know, they nurture that IP, they grow that IP, they take it for as long as they could take it. What this is doing is reversing the strategy. You start with a narrative. So you start with an IP and then you create the characters. Then you create the group. So your starting point is the IP. And in that regard, you can actually change the characters. You can actually change the group. Sorry. You can actually change the member of the group. For as long as you retain the character, you should be good. Some generations might be attached to a specific version of that group, but if you take care of that IP, then that can transcend generations. Okay. Would it be like the BU? Yes, something like the BU. But again, the difference between the BU and this one is that BU started with BTS. BTS was already existing. And then they created the BU, they created the characters. Okay. Second thing is that it is going to strengthen the music driven scripted content that can live simultaneously as a television show, fandom, and performance, an area where K-pop companies have decades of structural experience. So if you are going to just be frank about it, the truth is that K-pop Demon Hunters was stolen. Well, it was created by Canadian Korean, but that was, so maybe stolen is not the word, but more like adapted, right? So K-pop Demon Hunters, obviously K-pop. It's in the title. It actually says K-pop. And it's just that Sony and Netflix beat them to it. It's just that it was Netflix and Sony who managed to create this material first. But not BTS, but K-pop has been doing it for a really long time. Where, and yeah, I mean, the most successful one would be BTS, where they created scripted drama, scripted narratives, and then allow that to grow. So for Bangtan universe, for Wayang Yonhwa, and for the other universes, you have the comics, you have short films, you have music videos, you have installations, games, books, which they could have transformed, in my opinion. They could have transformed that into something bigger. But I think the s- what stalled them was the know-how. Like, how do we get this further than this? And I think that was not really a failure, but that's what stalled the growth of the IP. They weren't quite sure how to adapt it into different forms. This could be the solution. I know that the partnership of Hybe for Begins Youth with that streaming platform is done. So it's over. They don't sell it anymore. You can't buy their token to watch the show anymore. So this, if they gain this knowledge, if Hybe finally figures out to know on how they can adapt the IP into different forms, more forms, then they could apply that to Bangtan Universe. Okay. Next, I want a suite in SoFi. Can you help me? I keep on seeing like every other them, no, not every other, but like every two messages, there's like, how do I get into Discord? I need a suite. Thank you to everyone who's responding to the inquiries. You have to go to Patreon. There's a link to Discord, or just go to Discord and search for us. I guess it's public. Okay, and then it's of course changing the power dynamic in the entertainment development. Um, Somebody's paying attention to Chow. And I think one of or content creators in general. I think that's one thing that we need to give credit to Hybe for, because again, they are spotting talent in ways that no one actually, in places no one dared to go before, right? So they could, it used to be that they are, uh, like, when you want to source for people to work with, you go via the traditional route, which is networking, introductions of people. But Hybe is actually scouring the world to look for people that that have different ideas, that are doing this different things but are just equally successful. So you do have to give them credit for it. And here they are the first ones who are reaching out to content creators and are saying and telling content creators, well, you know what? You could have something that no one else has, so let's try this. And then fourth, it opens artists to a broader IP opportunity. If you're an artist, of course, you don't want to always be active, but you always want to earn. So if you have a strong IP, this could be to your advantage. Okay. And then, as I've said, you may not like this. You may not like what Alan is doing. You may not like the quality of his work, the narrative and the storytelling. But you can't deny that Hybe, as of the moment, is the only company that's brave enough and willing enough to source out possible gems from non traditional places. So I think for that matter, we do need to commend them for even doing that. So let's see what's going to happen. I'm personally going to be watching it. So it's one narrative across different channels, but it's going to start in a drama that will be aired in Netflix. That's how it'll start. Only in Netflix, I guess. So they'll start with, I don't know what kind of story. And it's a little bit similar to Wayang Yonwa, but this one is going to target specifically the Gen Z market. And so let's see what they're going to be doing. There is a lot of studies, a lot of hype about the Gen Z market being different from other generations, that they like their characters different and their stories different. But if you look at what Alan is doing in his channel, it's the same old cliche. I'm not, again, I'm not mocking him. Okay. I'm not. I mean, I have so much respect for what he has been able to achieve. I'm just saying, on a objective level, on an objective level, if you look at his material, it is cliche. So it goes against all the research being done about Gen Z and Gen Alpha being a different kind of market, thinking a different way, liking their art a different way. Because whatever he's putting out, I've seen that during the generation of my grandparents, generation of my parents, certainly my generation, and they're still using it. So let's see where it's gonna go. Wayang Yonwa, we all know the story, or at least we have a good idea of what the story is. It's so different. Certainly not something that you could just sit down for a minute and then consume, right? This is not for the idiots. It's not for, or not for the idiots, definitely not for people who don't have the time to sit down and actually appreciate it. Wayang Yonwa is something that you need to devote time to understand, even the understanding of the characters. So that it's different in that way. Substantially, it's different, but it's both narrative. And if there is a chance for Hybe, if they ever get to learn how to transform this IP into something that will carry it on to future generations, good. Because then this is the IP of BTS. If they earn more from it, good for them. So yeah, and then Wayang Yonwa came after BTS. So, but this one, their project will be the one that will give birth to a band. So that's the main difference. Okay, do you have questions? Hybe maybe, so yeah, they have a lot of projects going on. Hybe has a partnership with Ryan Tedder. They are creating a new boy band. So this one kind of like the opposite, not the opposite, but like Cat's Eye, but guys this time. And then they have the AU of Allen. They have a partnership with Geffen. They have Latin America partnership. So a lot of things going on. Wayang Yonwa is unmatched. We'll never get over it. Oh yeah. I mean, in terms of like how engaging it is and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Do you have questions? So This is funny. So they're so busy in Discord. While I'm busy here, they're so busy in Discord getting the names, the payment, and stuff. What's the name of the show? It hasn't been HBXRT label. It hasn't been revealed the actual title, but it will. All we know is that it's definitely going to be in Netflix. The one thing that I noticed is that he has slowed down in creating materials, in creating videos for his channel, probably because he's busy with this one. So I guess that's a sign that things are moving on this end of the aisle because he's slowing down in his creation for his materials in his channel. That or I'm simply not seeing it. But okay. Send you Lock from Arizona. I'm definitely pushing. Okay. So, well, I only have like 2 minutes. So, oh, I did say I'm going to extend, huh? Because but you guys are gonna go off. It's like what time is it in in the eastern side of the US? When I was a BB Army, I thought the Wayang Yonwa events really happened to the members. Oh no. No. Who's that? Pinayonse. No. I guess there is still a lot of belief that I will not have time for Illuminate so long. It's like 100. It'll be like an hour. So I'll do that next time. I'm only 9 p.m. It's only 9 p.m. East Coast. It's only 9 p.m. Why don't I do like a quick rundown on the cases? It will not enrage you because I'm just going to give you an update on the cases. Your last live, you mentioned that you think the boys will not be making a new storyline. Would you talk about that a bit? Uh, so I think one of the things that so we know that when they created Wayang Yonwa, it sort of created a template for all the other successful groups that they have. So Hypen, TXT, they all have Ila Seraphim, Isle It, they all have narratives, right? Okay. So and we know that worked. Um, however, one of the things that brought that having a narrative, having a fictional story supporting their music is some sort of a defense because it's less personal because you can sort of route what you're trying to say through the characters that you have. Okay. So um and that I think worked for them a little bit because they already are so scrutinized. Everything that they do is scrutinized. They don't post in social media, they're fighting. They post in social media, they're desperate. You see them in the street, they're dating. You don't see them in the street, they're married. There's nothing you can do that, I'm exaggerating, by the way. I'm exaggerating, but you get the idea that everything that they do and everything that they say gets amplified. I think that if they did not have the narrative, everything that they say in their music is going to be attributed into a personal event or whatever. So I think that kind of helped them put a little distance between them and the haters and all of this like rumors or whatever. Um but in the live streams that they've done, several live streams that they've done, they keep on saying that this is a different approach. And the one thing common in all the albums that they had, except for the outliers, like the ones that they did just like B, for example, they did that for a different purpose. Their singles in the US, like for example, Butter and Dynamite, all of those they did for a different purpose. But in their usual trajectory, they're very, very different. They're always like under a narrative. So they did say that this is a different approach. So I'm thinking, what the different ways, how can they make this different? And then they said that this is the most personal yet. Specifically, Jimin in his interview in GQ, he said that this is the most personal that they have ever done an album, the most personal album that they have ever done. So I'm thinking maybe they're going to remove that defense and make this an album that is actually them talking to the audience. This is their story, and they're very open that this entire album was inspired by everything that they have gone through up until that point, And they said that this includes their military service, like the loneliness that they experience having to be plucked out of the things that they love doing. So maybe there won't be a narrative anymore. We're not going to get a Love Yourself trilogy or a Wayang Yonwa trilogy and narrative. It's just going to be an album about their experience, their personal experience. So it's going to be more direct. The consequence is that it's going to be very much scrutinized. I remember the I remember that song of V, Stigma. Was it Stigma? Um, and he, of course, that song was to form part of the narrative of Wayang Yonwa. And there, like, he had a fight in the song. It was talking about like not being accepted by the family and having some relationship trouble with his family members, his siblings, and people just villainized his family, thinking that that's the actual story of his life, that he was not wanted by the family, and everyone started talking like, oh, that's probably why he was raised by his grandparents, because the parents didn't like him, or that's why he keeps on saying that he doesn't talk with his brothers and sisters because they don't like him. And I'm like, he was writing from a narrative. So, and all of the speculations about the family came about. Oh, maybe maybe the dad remarried, and that the mother that he's talking about, the mother that he calls the mother, is actually a stepmother. And I'm like, number one, it's none of your freaking business what his family situation is. Second is that it was written for Wayang Yonwa. So I think one of the consequences is that there's a lot of people who's going to be reading into that lyrics, and they will be putting a lot of meaning into that songs, meanings that are so far off what they actually meant. But that is the consequence of them being very popular. So that's what I meant. I think it's not going to be a narrative anymore. I'm happy just for their new music. That's all I care. Yes, too many read into stigma and what it represents. Yeah, I'm actually very, very surprised about all of this interpretation. But uh, you know, that's why Namjoon said he is scared, but he trusts us. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I analyze the lyrics, but it's always from a lyrical perspective, poetic perspective. And there's always, whenever somebody writes something, was actually discussed by, who was that? EJ, he was talking about it. She said that when you're writing a song, there are some lines that will not fit, that will not be 100% integrated into what you're saying, but you say it anyway because it sounds good with the melody and the beat. um so it happens. He said that it does happen. Like sometimes you feel like, this does not 100% encapsulates what I want to say, but it kind of sounds good with the beat and the melody, so you'll put it in because it doesn't destroy the narrative anyway. So we have to provide for that. And even Ryan Tedder actually said that sometimes there are lines in there that you kind of feel like, it doesn't fit perfectly, but it does sound good with the entire song, or it's catchy or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, stigma ticks me off when people say it's a personal song of V, because no. I'm Fairlane, I love your John Cookie video today. So insightful. Thank you. Thank you. That concludes the series for the Korean. I did not know. I had no idea that they were gonna go back into their Korean heritage and their Korean culture for their album. But I guess it worked out. Right after the series goes the album. Okay. So as you know, the Dolphin Group, they were asked to pay Adore, for uploading the music video without the written consent of Adore. And but the charges to Shin Woo-sok, the CEO himself, that those were dropped. But their group, the company, was actually asked to pay. They're starting to look alike. Shin Woo-sok and Min Hee-jin. When I saw this picture, and I'm like, does he not kind of look similar to Minheejin? Okay, maybe they're together most of the time. So I'm like, kind of the same. You were ahead of the times. I'm a K-pop Stradamus. Okay, so so he's appealing the case. He's saying one of the things that he is claiming is that the court, he said that this is not right. You acknowledge that a verbal agreement is good, but you're saying that it's not, you cannot use that because there is no written agreement. So he said it's like it's a contradiction. That's why he's appealing. I feel like the lawsuits never end. Okay, so he said that no, this is not. So he's not. He refuses to pay. He actually appealed, so he's not going to pay the fine, and he's going to take it to the court of appeals. Now he also said that the new jeans music video and additional content we have produced, this is them talking, he said that it has been carried out at a loss. He said that they were losing money producing all of these music videos. And he said that they were doing it only because they wanted to expand Dolphin Group's portfolio to ensure the perfection of our works. Okay. And in this case as well, we have submitted profit and loss related documents to the court to prove this. And he specifically mentioned this because if you would remember, Adore said one of the things that Adore raised during the hearing is that Dolphin has a contract with Cacao. And in that contract, they are required to turn in a specific amount of money, to earn a specific amount of money, or they will have to pay Cacao. Okay, so the implication is that the amount of money that you're paying Dolphin is actually way too much because you're simply helping them get their minimum income, the minimum income that they need. Okay, so they're saying that nope, their cacao contract is not a slave contract. Okay. And that they're actually not getting paid much compared to the things that they were able to produce. So they said that the kidnapping group is guaranteed an independent creative environment by Cacao. So it's not a slave contract. They are not like a lot of the things that Adore claimed does not isn't true. He said that we ask you to refrain from making groundless speculation or malicious slander. In the future, we plan to respond strongly to acts such as the spread of false information and organized comment manipulation based on reports. Okay, and then he said that okay. So that's what the appeal is about. That's why he hasn't paid Adore because he said it's not right. The court said it's okay that verbal agreement is actually honored, but then you said this is not honored because it's not written. Okay. And then Daniel already appointed a law firm. So it's Wow Wu law firm and Jungbak law firm. So two law firms, but Min Heejin just appointed one law firm, and that is the Jam law firm. She didn't go for Sejong for this one. Now speculation initially was that she's running out of money. I think she has someone supporting her because she's spending a lot of money with these lawyers. Now, this is going to be the first lawsuit where tampering will actually be discussed in the court. Okay, very first time. So it's a big deal because a lot of people are anticipating how Hybe is going to prove that Min Hee-jin tampered with New Jeans. So this is kind of like an exciting thing for them because this is the first time it's going to happen. However, and so for this, Danielle and her mother appointed this group. This law firm, is the same law firm that's representing Shin Woo-sok in the Dolphiners case against Adore, which they just lost. Okay, so interesting. But a lot of people say that, it could be because they think since they already have the experience in going against Adore, they will do a better job now because they kind of know how Adore actually does things or this law firm that does things. Now, and then for the law firm of Min Hee-jin, he is a baseball, he's like a sports guy. He represents a lot of athletes. And they think that Min Hee-jin chose him precisely because this is a contractual discussion. They're going to go into the nitty-gritty of the contract, which a lot of athletes are known for. So I know that entertainment companies are known for like questioning contracts or talking about different the stuff that are supposed not supposed to be in the contract but that are there. But in sports it's actually even more tedious. It's even more tedious because it's connected to so many things, their IP, brand deals, things that they need to do off the court, what will happen, blah blah blah. it's a- Contracts of athletes are more tedious, and it might be why she decided to go with this guy, because he's used to actually examining really deeply a contract. So that's my assessment. Okay. Okay. And then another thing is that Hybe actually applied to seal the records of this trial. So we're not going to have a lot of information on this as we used to. um, this and also the remaining pieces of evidence they have against her for the termination of the shareholders agreement. So they sealed it, basically. They sealed the record. So and it has been approved. So the access to that will now be very, very limited. Okay. When is the court date? When will this be over? Which one? There's so many. So for the source music against Minheejin, there's one more trial in February because they requested for an extension. They said that there will be two new witnesses in that case, one of which is the CEO, So Sung Jin of Source Music. And then the other one, a lot of fans think that she's an employee, probably an employee that was involved in the recruitment of the members of Source Music. Was one of the contentious parts of the testimony of Min Hee Jin is her choosing the members to be a member of New Jeans. And Source Music insisted that no, you did not. We were the ones who chose them, and you stole it from us. So a lot of people are assuming that the other person mentioned as the witness is actually an employee highly involved in casting the rest of the members, but we don't know. They submitted the names. The side of Min Hee-jin already knows who that person is, but we don't know yet. But definitely the other one is the CEO, So Sung Jin. So that's for March. And then I think the February is also 20, I think 20-ish is when the decision for the shareholders agreement is going to be. They did their last argument, so we're just waiting for the decision. However, I think the shareholders agreement is going to be the main case. A lot of the other cases are waiting on the decision of that to consider when they make a decision in this one. So, and that was applied by Source Music. So, for example, for Source Music, they actually requested, can we get the court documents submitted in this case against Min Hee-jin? Can we get that and consider it as an evidence for this one? So they usually ask for that. So let's see what's going to happen. When can Min Hee-jin be charged with criminal acts? My guess. So a lot of the things that she is facing is actually civil cases, right? My guess is that after, if Hybe and Adore gets majority of their cases won, if they win majority of their cases, then they're gonna start charging her with criminal cases, because then they can use the civil. They can ask the court to look at the decision of the civil cases and submit it as evidence. That's my guess. That's going to make their lives easier. It seems that the three is connected in their fight to bring down Hybe. If she loses all her living spaces, jail will have her gladly. I will keep my hands in prayer form, and any good that is listening will be hearing my prayers. Sealing documents because they involve contracts. That's what everyone thinks, because they think that it involves, if they disclose it, then it's going to disclose the kind of contracts that they have with their artists. Um, yeah. So they don't have to wait for the police to declare their shenanigans as a crime. Yeah, and it's just going to be easier, right? Because you already have the civil court. It is a court. It is a court. The difference between a civil court and a criminal court is the weight of the evidence. So in a criminal court, it has to be beyond reasonable doubt. You have to prove the guilt of the person beyond reasonable doubt if it is a criminal court. In a civil court, you're looking at the most likely thing to have happened. The highest, yeah, the most likely thing to have happened. So it's not beyond reasonable doubt, but the most likely thing to have happened. So when you go to a criminal court, then you have the weight of the evidence is heavier. All right. Okay, so that was a treat for you guys because I did not expect that I was going to get that call and actually finish the deals with the lodge, with the suites and the lodges while I am doing my live stream. I hope you were entertained. Are you going to have a fan meet in Las Vegas? I'm not gonna have a fan meet in Las Vegas. I'm going to be meeting you guys in Las Vegas. So I'll be there in all the dates. So day one, day two, and day three, I'll be there. So, and then in Dolphin, in Discord, we are going to start talking about a project first and then invite everybody. We're planning on like doing something that would pay tribute to BTS. We don't know what that is yet, but definitely like a project in for Vegas. And then probably if the festival is going to go will be pushing through, then we will most likely like go around together. So let's see. Are there still meet and greet BTS VIP packages? That will be released. No, they don't offer meet and greet anymore as a group. The last time it's been a long while since they have done it. So it's usually just the sound check. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. And I hope that you get the tickets that you want, but only after I get my tickets. Okay, so make sure remember the reminders. That the emails must match. Make sure that no one else is using the internet. Make sure that you save your credit card information in your Ticketmaster account. Make sure you call your bank and tell them that there will be more charges coming, and make sure that that you copy your Weverse membership. Make sure you have your phone with you. Only one tab should be open for every location that you are going to get a ticket for. Okay? Good luck, everybody. I hope you get the tickets that you want after I get the tickets that I want. Bye.